Coming up on Wildcats Media News, more students are coming out to campus events. Klein has the details, and some students are showing off some of their talents and an inside look at TLC's last production of the year.
The LC football team gets an exciting win against Sorrel State. We take a look at this year's edition of the Louisiana College men's basketball team and some honors for both LC soccer teams. Wildcats Media News starts now.
From Studio A in the Martin Performing Arts Center, this is Wildcats Media News.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Wildcats Media News. I'm Steven Maxwell. As the semester winds down, the chase is on to get those elusive spiritual and cultural credits. As Wildcats Media's Klein reports, attendance at these events is going up.
I think there's a huge part of the college experience that comes outside of the classroom.
KB Thomas has one of those faces, as in you've seen her face at nearly every LC event. That's why she knows what she's talking about when she says,
Usually because of LC culture, if it's not a cultural credit, students won't come.
But it seems like things might be changing.
This year we've had a lot of people coming out for events.
And students agree.
We really have had a lot of good attendance.
In fact, Res Life's last big event saw around
250 people.
Some say the increase is linked to changes being made around the campus.
Well, I mean, we've seen a lot of staff changes, and so there's fresh faces with new ideas.
There's a lot of good things happening on campus, improvements being made.
Another possible cause could be the amount of ways students can be informed. Social media, Wildcats Media, and the new LC app are just a few ways to stay ahead of all the events on campus.
In general, I just feel like the atmosphere on campus has just been a positive one this year.
Everyone's just kind of looking up, so to speak, and so I think that's what gets them involved.
According to Thomas, the next big event to plan for is Christmas Gala on December 6th. For Wildcats Media News, I'm Klein.
For a complete list of campus events, you can check out the website at lacollege.edu. Now, speaking of campus events, some students came out Monday night to see if LC's got any talent. And others came out to show they did. Hidden talents included singing, dancing, and sign language. However, it wasn't just a show, there was also jambalaya dinner. LC's Got Talent was the latest idea from the Residence Live staff programming team. Kind of a collective idea, you know, we talk about some events at LC are outdoor, some are indoor, and there's different things that go on. We want to make this a good, enjoyable indoor fall activity, so this is what we came up with. Lindsay Gillespie won the first place prize, a $70 Visa gift card. From book to script to play, TLC's latest production is created by local authors and Louisiana College staff. Wildcats Media's Emily Lansing is in the Martin Performing Arts Center with details on Twice a Slave. Emily?
Thank you, Stephen. Theater Louisiana College is tasked with the job of bringing the story of Joseph Willis to life in their latest production of Twice a Slave.
Do you ever think God would use an Indian slave to preach to a foreign country?
Willis is recognized by many as the father of the Louisiana Baptist Convention because he was the first Protestant to bring the gospel to Louisiana.
My mother told me that God had a plan for my life. And I'm sure it's here in Louisiana.
Twice a Slave follows the timeline of Willis's life as is shown in the book of the same name written by Sammy Tibbet and Randy Willis.
I know your heart. You're kind to those who treat you wrong, and you have courage.
TLC's very own Dr. Deborah Pete Richardson adapted the play from the book and is also the director.
I really started writing in earnest last April, and Act 1 was finished by graduation. It just flew off the page. And so the summer was much more challenging for me, but when I would just relax and let the Lord speak to me, then He is the one who helped me to finish it.
Cast member Connor Chapin admits that it has been challenging but beneficial to work with the writer of the play.
It's very different from working on a play that somebody else wrote, but it's also very helpful because you're able to get immediate feedback from the person who adapted it from the book. It was very interesting to see it go from a novel to a play and how everything had to be taken into account and how to make it work for the stage. So it's a very creative and interesting process to see.
Jesse Gallegos has found his own difficulties while playing the leading role of Joseph Willis that have helped him as an actor.
It's challenging. She's very specific. She knows what she wants. So whenever I'm acting, I need to be aware of that. Everything's really meticulous when it comes to the time period and how we're supposed to act and react and move as these people in this certain time period.
There's 4 more chances to catch Twice a Slave, the 13th through the 15th at 7 p.m. and the 16th at 2 p.m. I'm Emily Lansing. Back to you, Stephen.
Thanks, Emily. For pricing or to reserve a ticket, you can call TLC at the number on the bottom of your screen. Now he's used to performing in front of the Pope and President Clinton. Now he's strumming for students and faculty. LC's classical guitarist Giovanni John DeCaro performed a concert in Presser Recital Hall. The classical guitarist has showed his talents in places like Carnegie Hall, the Vatican, and even the White House. DeCaro played 6 songs for students and faculty, including Ave Maria, the Can-Can, and Maple Leaf Rag.
Thoroughly enjoy myself. I love performing, and it's nice to perform for people who have really never had any experience or anything or any type of association with classical guitar. So it's for them, it's the first time that they have actually heard and seen something like this.
Before coming to LC, DeCaro worked as a professor of guitar at the University of Southern Mississippi for 25 years. And that'll do it for this week's news. Coming up next is sports with Karylon Thornton. We'll be right back.
For Wildcats Media Sports, I'm Karylon Thornton. The LC football team has put itself in position to finish second in the American Southwest Conference for the 4th time in the last 5 years. The Wildcats surviving a big scare in Alpine, Texas this past Saturday as they hung on to beat Sorrel Ross 26-25. The Wildcats trailed 25-14 with 9 minutes left when senior Ira Jewett returned a kickoff 100 yards to cut the lead to 5. For Jewett, the 8th return touchdown of his career, tying him with Justin Charles for the LC record. It was his 5th return of the 2014 season, tying an ASC single-season record, and earned Jewett ASC Special Teams Player of the Week.
Get it, and it ended up just hitting my shoulder. I just picked it up. When I picked it up, I just looked up and just saw how they were set up. You know, I just felt like I could take it out pretty good, get pretty good yardage for our offense.
The Cats finally took the lead when sophomore receiver Shed Davis scored on the end around. LC leading 26-25 with 3 minutes left. Sorrel Ross had one final drive. The Lobos getting to the LC 14 before senior linebacker Bo Brewer sealed the win with a sack and then recovered the fumble. LC improves to 5-4 on the season.
It just came down to playing for each other. You know, we play as a brotherhood on defense. We're white shirts. We just fight for each other, no matter the circumstance. Just put it on the line for everybody. That's what it came down to today.
The Wildcats close out their season Saturday when they host Hardin-Simmons at 1 p.m. Both teams are 3-1 in conference play. The winner takes the ASC runner-up trophy, something the Cats will take a lot of pride in considering their grueling schedule this season.
Our guys love to play at home and think it'll be a heck of a game, one that we're excited to be a part of and got a lot to play for. You know, this is huge in terms of being able to finish with a winning season, a conference runner-up, and I think our guys will be prepared and be ready to play.
Last week we previewed the LC women's basketball team as it begins its 2014-15 season. This week we take a look at the LC men's. The Wildcats returned a season roster of veteran players from a team that went 12-14 a year ago. The Wildcats were 11-12 in the American Southwest Conference and have been picked to finish 5th in the conference this year. LC's only loss from last year's team is Doc Welch. And incredibly, the Wildcats have no seniors on this roster this season. But they do have an experienced group of juniors and sophomores who look to take advantage of the playing time many of them saw last year.
I feel like we're going to be really good this year. They picked us like 5th to finish in the conference, but I mean, we got everybody back. So, I mean, I think we should be great.
I really feel like it'd be a disappointment if we don't come out with the ring this year. That's the only expectation. That's the only thing we come in here to do, get the ring, go to Nationals, and make a run.
The Wildcats opened their season this Friday against Division I UL Lafayette, while the women opened that same night against Division I McNeese State. The American Southwest Conference has announced its all-conference soccer teams for 2014. The LC men see 5 players honored. Making the second team are sophomore forwards Pedro Silva and Rodrigo Neves, as well as freshman midfielder Matias Fellini. On the third team, senior defender Renato Neves and freshman midfielder Bonico Bazil. For the LC women, 3 players make the list. On the second team are senior forward Pam Ursey and senior midfielder Aaron Biggs. Sophomore Jamie Harmon is honorable mention third team. And that's a look at sports, Steven.
So it's getting pretty cold out there. You like this weather?
Cold. No, not a friend of mine.
Any pumpkin spice lattes, gingerbreads,
no.
Peppermint bark? It's Christmas season.
No, sorry, I'm not.
No.
Haven't caught on yet.
Well, I got a new jacket, and it was like cost me a good, pretty
North
penny.
Face?
No, not North Face.
Oh.
No, I don't even know what it is, but it's J.C. Penney. And to make it sound more French and eloquent, it's Giuseppe's.
Oh, okay, I understand.
So, yeah. Well, thanks, Karylon. Trying to stay warm out there.
Oh, yeah.
All right, that'll do it for this week's Wildcats Media News. For more campus news and updates, you can check out our website, wildcatsmedia.com. Oh, if you want to check out the weather a little bit more in depth, check out our radio broadcast at KZLC News. So that'll do it for this week. I'm Steven Maxwell.
And I'm Karylon Thornton.
We'll see you next week.